Well, now you've gone and done it. You over-conditioned your boots. They're a few shades darker, maybe they look kind of wet or damp, and you're wondering to yourself, did I just ruin my investment? But wait, not so fast. There may be a way to hit the reset button on those over-conditioned boots or over-conditioned leather in general, and even better, it can be done using stuff that you probably have sitting there at home. Now, before we begin, this video is sponsored by Smith's Leather Bomb. As a matter of fact, it was Shane Smith who told me about this technique, which is why I'm making this video. And in a case like that, I don't mind doing sponsored videos, especially if it's a brand that I already like. And I've been using Smith's for a long time on my boots, and if you've ever emailed me or messaged me asking what conditioner I recommend, it's usually this one. And the reason that I like this one so much is that it's very simple. Very, very simple. I think there's only 3 or 4 ingredients in here. Organic cocoa butter, organic beeswax, and 100% pure sweet almond oil. So like you could literally take this stuff out of the container if you wanted to, and you could eat it. You know, I wouldn't suggest it. It would probably taste pretty gross. Actually, it doesn't really smell that bad. I mean, all right, don't eat it though, okay? I mean, no matter how tempted you might be. Plus, they're a small family-run company out of Maine, USA. Just everything lined up for this one. Makes sense. Smith Leather Bomb is awesome stuff. Okay, let's introduce our test mule for this. These are these should be no stranger to you. These are my Iron Rangers. Now, these are actually in their amber harness color, and they are wearing a resole by Northern Republic. The reason I wanted to use these boots is that they're very textured. The amber harness leather, it tends to change shade dramatically. I mean, it goes from this color you have here, like a medium brown, to a very, very dark brown if you oversaturate it with conditioner. So that's actually what we're gonna do now. We're actually gonna go ahead and throw everything that we have at these. So I'm gonna use a little bit of liquid leather balm. This is the Venetian leather balm that a lot of people like. A little bit of leather oil, which is actually what you're supposed to use on an oiled leather like this one here. We're going to use some traditional, you know, kind of leather balm that you would use. And we're also going to use some mink oil, some Red Wing branded mink oil. So now there are other oils and balms and fats and oils, stuff that you can use, but these right here are probably kind of like what most people are going to do. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to take one, we're going to throw everything here at it to really get the damn thing just way oversaturated. The other one, we're just going to use a very, very liberal amount of, I think just the conditioner on here. Just sort of like what most people would do. The reason I want to do that is to show you what, you know, typically your boots may look like if they're over-conditioned, but also what a severe over-conditioning would do, which is what we're going to do with the other one. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to go with our technique and see if we can rewind the clock on both the, you know, crazy threw everything at it boot and the one that, you know, is kind of a normal over-conditioning situation. So let's get to it. All right, it's time to fix these. So the two things that you are going to need are some dish detergent that has degreaser in it. I don't care what brand it is, as long as it has a degreasing element. On top of that, you're also gonna need a stiff nylon bristle brush. Now this is just gonna really help you get in there with that detergent and scrub out all of those oils and fats and everything that you put on there with that conditioner. Now, depending on how much junk you have on the top of your boots, this may take a couple of applications. For the purposes of our video here, I'm just going to do one, but you may need to repeat 2 or 3 times. Okay, so here are our boots after about 48 hours of drying off. And you can see that the leather has lightened up quite a bit. Some spots I did notice stayed a little bit darker, and that's what I mean when sometimes it may take a couple of applications. As you remember, I really threw everything but the kitchen sink at these. And then I washed them in the kitchen sink. Woo! But anyway, it's really up to you how much you want to take out of the boot. I really kind of don't mind when they're a little bit darker around the edges. And when I'm talking about the edges, where the stitching is, you know, where there are holes, stuff like that, where the oils or waxes or conditioner, whatever you have, has really had a chance to seep in there, and that's very, very difficult to get out. And to get rid of that, it's really just gonna take a little bit more time and some more scrubbing with a good degreasing dish detergent. Now, these are dried out. They need some conditioning. And the thing to remember about when you are conditioning your boots, so you don't repeat the same mistake again, is that leather is skin, right? It's porous. So it's gonna absorb anything that you put on it, and that includes spills, splashes of water. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna condition these, and we're gonna do it in a way that won't get us back to where we began with over-conditioned, saturated-looking boots. And the key to that is really just taking it easy. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Smith's Leather Balm here. So the way we're going to apply this is I'm actually gonna use this little dauber brush here. And all you gotta do is kind of get a little bit of that leather balm on there. You don't want to saturate the heck out of it. You just want to get a little bit of it in there. And the whole idea behind this brush is that it will actually help get into those crevices and places that you can't get if you were to just run a cloth over the top of it. You probably wouldn't get down into the little crevices and stuff like that. So you just kind of like literally run this over there pretty gently. And it, just 1 pass, 2 passes, whatever. It really doesn't take a whole lot to condition your boots. And this is gonna kind of like allow you to control the amount that you actually put on. You'll see that it'll darken up a little bit, but once it absorbs and it gets in there and stuff, it'll lighten up quite a bit as well. Once this stuff has a chance to absorb and evaporate somewhat, your boots will go back to their original color. But it may take a day or two, so just have some patience. Then just go ahead and lace them up and you are ready to go. Now, a lot of people ask me about, how often I condition my boots. And this is really something that's gonna be dictated by how you wear them. If you wear your boots really hard and they're going through that dry, wet type of condition, you're gonna wanna condition them more often because nothing kills leather like being really dry and then getting soaked and then being really dry. That's how you get cracks and stuff like that. The whole idea behind using a leather balm or a leather conditioner is to keep it moisturized so that it's flexible and that it doesn't crack and that your boots last a long time. Now, of course, you can use this on anything. I've actually used this on my furniture. I have a really cool leather couch that was sort of my gift to myself a while back, and I've used this on it, especially when my kids decide that it's fun to like make marks on it. A little bit of this really does kind of erase that. And I don't worry about putting it on there, and then if my 2-year-old comes over and starts like chewing on the arm of the couch or something, because I know that everything that's in there, it's non-toxic. So for me, honestly, after I wear my boots, no matter which pair it is, I take a little horsehair brush and I just kind of go over it just to get any sort of dirt out of the creases and stuff. Because don't forget that those little like sand and dirt particles, they act like an abrasive. So every time you move, it's starting to grind away at your leather. So I figure just using this gets rid of most of that, and I haven't had a problem since. Now, what I'll usually do is every 6 months or so, I'll take my boots that I've been wearing for, a while, and I'll hit them with a little light coat of conditioner. That's it. I think people get way too fussy with this stuff, especially if you wear them casually. Now, of course, it's always up to you and how you condition your boots and how often, and use your best judgment, but over-conditioning your boots can be just as bad as under-conditioning them, especially the way they look. Ugh. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank Smith's for sponsoring this video, and if you want to check out Smith's Leather Balm for yourself, check the description below because I've left a link to everything that they offer down there. They actually have a lot more products than I was aware of, so if you're interested, go and check them out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video has been helpful to you, and if you have overconditioned boots, hopefully it'll get you on the right track, and I'll catch you next time.